morning, everyone! This is Nicole, your host for today's episode. After 12 months on air at our YouTube and FB channels, the Philippine Sports Commission Women in Sports Show, Red Shape Up, is proud to have accomplished the following. The show has featured a greater number of girls and young women athletes than adult women athletes. And you might ask why the Magna Carta on Women in Sports mandates the Philippine Sports Commission Women in Sports to empower the marginalized sector. Empowering can mean many things to many people. But to us, empowerment would mean giving equal opportunities to us, girls in sports and in life. Yes, we girls need greater opportunities to showcase our talents and inspire other girls out there to rise up where we are now in pandemic and shape up our lives to become leaders and change makers young as we are.
Yes, Nicole, as you see me standing here, I stand now as a symbol of the United Nations International Day of the Girl Child that is being celebrated every 11th day of October. For this year, the United Nations and all its partner civil society leaders, governments, corporations, and change makers from around the world carry the campaign My Voice Our Equal Future.
Being the campaign of this year's UN celebration of the girl child is to ensure that girls in sports are connected, supported, and empowered, so we can be able to co-lead the journey of digital transformation and make this digital transformation significantly contributing to the growth and development of our digital generation in sports and physical activities.
So, to the empowered girls out there, what are we waiting for?
Let's seize the moment and then. We have invited to the show several girl athlete champions who will share the fun and joy in engaging in sports at an early age and how they are navigating the digital realities into their favor as athletes. Oh well, we hope that we will be able to encourage girls to choose sports at pandemic where digital gadgets are very accessible. We still hope that sport is the better option. And before we give our girl champs, I already know that age is not a hindrance to being athletic champions. Here's our commissioner, Celia Kirap, for another exciting kwento on girl champs around the world!
Ang aking ibabahaging kwento sa inyo ngayon ay tungkol sa mga pinakabatang babaeng atleta na nagningning sa buong mundo at nagbigay inspirasyon sa mga batang babae na naging mga manlalaro. Ang mga tagumpay ng mga kabataang babae sa palarong pampalakasan ay nagpapadala ng isang malakas na mensahe sa mundo na ang sport ay may puwang din para sa mga kababaihan at mga kabataan. Ang ilan ay nakapasok na rin sa mga kompetisyon sa pinakamaagang edad na 10 taong gulang at lumalaban sa mga atletang mas matanda pa sa kanila. Narito ang isang pagbabalik-tanaw sa ilan sa mga pinakabatang atleta sa kasaysayan na nakapasok sa Olympic Games. Ito din ay talagang nagdulot ng inspirasyon at senyales na walang imposible sa larangan ng sport. Nakipagkompetensya sa women's team all-around event noong 1928 at nanalo ng silver medal sa 1928 Summer Olympic Games na ginanap sa Amsterdam. 3 batang Italian gymnast na sina Luigina Giavotti na 11 taong gulang at sina Ines Berzacci at Carla Maragoni na parehong 12 taong gulang. Si Marjorie Jesring naman isang springboard diver mula sa Amerika na sa edad na 13 taon ay nanalo ng gintong medalya sa 3-meter springboard diving sa 1936 Summer Olympics sa Berlin. Ito ang naging dahilan kung bakit siya ang pinakabata na nanalo ng Olympic gold medal. Siya ay napabilang din sa International Swimming Hall of Fame at ang Stanford Athletic Hall of Fame. Si Injay Sorensen ay isa sa mga pinakabatang Olympic female medalist sa kasaysayan. Sa edad na 12 taon na naiuwi niya ang bronze medal sa 200-meter breaststroke competition noong 1936 Olympics. Pagkatapos ay nagpatuloy siya upang manalo ng ito noong 1938. Si Donna Elizabeth de Varona naman ay ang pinakabatang miyembro ng 1960 Olympic swimming team sa edad na 13. Nakipagkompetensya siya sa 1960 Olympics qualifying team na naipasok ang koponan ng panghuling kompetisyon kung saan nanalo siya ng ginto. Noong 1994 naman, ang isang Asyano na nagngangalang si Kim Yoo-min ng South Korea ay gumawa ng Olympic speed skating history noong siya ay lumaban sa Lillehammer Games na ginanap sa Norway. Nanalo siya ng ginto sa 3,000-meter relay sa edad na 13 at naging pinakabatang Olympic champion sa Winter Olympics. Alam niyo ba na sa katatapos na 2020 Summer Olympics na ginanap sa Japan, ang kilusan ng kabataan sa skateboarding ay nagdingning sa Tokyo. Lalo na sa panig ng kababaihan, kung saan lahat ng 6 na medalist ay mga kabataan. Sa Women's Street naman, lahat ng 3 medalist ay mga kabataan. Ang Japanese skateboarder na si Mishiya Momiji na 13 taong gulang lamang ay nanalo ng kauna-unahang gintong medalya sa kompetisyon ng kalye ng kababaihan. Siya ang pinakabatang atleta na nanalo ng gintong medalya para sa Japan at ikatlong pinakabata pagkatapos sina Marjorie Jeswing at Klaus Serta na nanalo ng gold sa isang event sa Summer Olympics. At ang silver medalist na si Raisa Leal ng Brazil ay parehong 13 taon lamang. Women's Park naman ng 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics, ang mga kabataan ay muling nakakuha ng mga medalya. Sina Kokona Hiraki, 12 taong gulang lamang, ang nakapanalo ng silver medal at ang bronze medalist na si Sky Brown sa edad na 13 taon, ang pinakabatang Olympic medalist ng Great Britain. Si Kwan Honchan na 14 na taong gulang mula sa China ay nakatanggap ng perpektong 10 puntos mula sa lahat ng 7 hurado sa women's individual 10-meter platform final at nakakuha rin ng gintong medalya. At dyan nagwawakas ang kwento tungkol sa mga kabataang babae sa palarong pampalakasan. Muli, ito ang inyong Commissioner Kiram na walang sawang maghahatid ng kwentong kababaihan, kwento para sa kaalaman at karunungan sa sport.
Not at your best? You may be dehydrated. You need Pocari Sweat. It replaces the electrolytes you've lost and helps you perform at your best. Be at your best with Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat.
Thank you, Pocari Sweat. We cannot continue our show without knowing fully well the digital environment we are in. And for that, we are happy to present to you important facts and figures about kids in digital world. Here is Miss Rona Joy Bulaong, an expert in digital communications, to share us some exciting facts and figures.
A seasoned digital marketing practitioner with over a decade of experience in the industry, Ms. Rona Joy Bulaong is the president of 926 Marketing Consultancy. She earned her master's degree in marketing communications at De La Salle University and works with various government agencies, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and startup companies in their digital transformation initiatives. A Theta Healer, Reiki and Therapy, Blueprint Practitioner. She is passionate about mental health, awareness, mindfulness, and a holistic well-being. Let's give a warm round of applause for Ms. Rong Bulaong.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. So ngayon, ang atin namang tatalakayin ay ano ba ang mga digital world facts and figures at ano ba yung mga tips kung paano natin mababalanse ang screen time. Okay. So, tingnan natin ang digital statistics. Sa ngayon, merong 7.87 billion in terms of global population. At sa populasyon ng buong mundo, 4.80 billion or 60.9% ang internet users. Samantala, 4.48 billion naman o 56.8% ang mga internet users na aktibo sa social media. Kung titingnan naman natin, ano nga ba or gaano katagal ba ang time na ini-spend ng mga tao sa social media? In a global perspective, ang mga tao, bawat isang internet user ay nagsispend ng around average of 6 hours and 55 minutes being online sa iba't ibang klase ng devices. Sa Pilipinas naman, ang average internet use nating mga Pilipino ay 10 hours and 56 minutes or halos 11 hours na per day. Ano-ano ba ang mga ginagawa ng mga tao kapag online sila? So usually, 3 hours and 20 minutes ay ini-spend ng mga tao sa panonood ng TV, whether it is mga broadcast or streaming. Sa Pilipinas, 3 hours and 30 minutes ang ginagamit ng PH users kapag ka naman manonood sila nagsistream sila or nagbo-broadcast. Globally, 2 oras at 20 minutes ang ginagamit ng mga tao for social media use, samantalang sa Pilipinas, 4 hours and 15 minutes ang average time spent nating mga Pilipino sa paggamit ng social media. So 1 hour and 33 minutes naman ang ginagamit globally on average in terms of music streaming na hours spent. Sa Pilipinas, we spend usually 2 hours and 15 minutes streaming music. So makikita natin na sa isang buong araw, ang laki at ang dami talaga ng time na nasuspend natin being online, doing all of these activities online. In the US, sa mga children 8 to 10 years old, ang average time spent nila online ay 4 to 6 hours, pero ang mga teenagers, up to 9 hours online sila. Okay? So, tingnan natin naman ngayon, ano-ano ba yung use ng mga children pagdating sa digital devices. So children's engagement with certain types of digital devices vary depending syempre dun sa age. So makikita natin dito ang breakdown from age of 0 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 8, and 9 to 11. So malaking percentage pa din ang ginagamit sa television or time na nasuspend sa media na television. Of course, tumataas na din dyan ang paggamit ng tablet or computer na nasa around 67, smartphone or mobile devices at 60, desktop and laptop at 44, and yung mga gaming device or gaming consoles at 44. So pagtingnan, nagkaroon ng study rin ang European Commission kung ano ba ang naging pagbabago sa buhay ng mga kabataan nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. So mayroong study or project na Kids' Digital Lives in COVID-19 Times or KIDICOTI. So makikita natin dito, pinag-aralan nila, ano nga ba ang naging difference? So alam natin, malaki naging difference ng naging face-to-face versus sa naging online learning na yung mga kabataan. Pero ito, nag-survey sila kung ano yung mga naging pagbabago at nakikita nila. Ano yung naging parang attitude and perceptions ng mga magulang at ng mga bata sa naging buhay ng digital lives ng mga kabataan ngayong COVID-19 times. So number one na interesting sa study nila is that yung parents ay nag-report sila na mas worried daw sila sa dangers ng children's excessive internet use. Kasi nga, mas marami ng time ini-spend online learning, bukod pa doon sa entertainment na ginagawa nila, di ba, pag manonood ng mga videos or maglalaro. So tumataas ng grabe ang internet use ng mga bata. Children spent an average of 6.5 hours daily online, more than half of which ay strictly sa school-related activities. So when they're having their classes or kapag nagre-research para sa mga assignments na kailangan nilang ipasa. 48% of children felt that they spend too much time online. So yung concern na to, hindi lamang sa mga magulang. Makikita natin na ang sentiment pala ng mga bata is that ang taas na rin ang time na ini-spend nila online. A quarter of children overall, as much as 40% in Romania and 36% in Ireland, admitted to skipping meals and sleep more frequently during lockdown. So even yung mga kabataan, admittedly, isa sa mga naging effect ng palaging online or nagkakaroon ng mga online classes, nagkakaroon ng mas dumami at tumaas na online activities, is that minsan or madalas nagsiskip na sila ng meals or yung tulog. So mas maikli yung nagiging hours na naging pagtulog nila. So having said that, ano nga ba ang nagiging epekto ng negative effects ng too much screen time? So isa sa mga yan ay, so naglagay tayo dito ng 4 na mga negative effects ng too much screen time. Number 1 is increased chances of becoming obese. So bakit? Kasi sedentary yung nagiging lifestyle. Kapag nakaupo lang tayo, nanonood sa screen, this is a time not spent being physically active. So pag mas maraba yung time na hindi tayo physically active, so mas tumataas yung propensity or yung probability na magkaroon ng childhood obesity. Pangalawa, nagkakaroon ng impaired sleep. Kasi yung mga screen devices natin, they can overstimulate and distract. Di ba merong mga blue light na lumalabas dyan? So yung blue light na yan, nag-delay ng release ng tinatawag ng melatonin. And nakaka-affect doon sa circadian rhythm natin or yung rhythm ng pagtulog. Kaya minsan, di ba, makikita natin late na, medyo nahihirapan ng matulog. Madalas kasi ang dami pang time na nasispend online or being on the mobile screen or television, so bago matulog. So it causes impaired sleep. It also raises the child's risk for attention problems, anxiety, and depression. Kasi yung attention mas umiigsi, so mas nagiging, nagkakaroon ng inattention problems. According sa studies, yung mga bata na mas madalas yung time na ini-spend sa screen. It also negatively impacts social and relational skills. Bakit? Increased technology use have been found out by studies na it can create potential for having social disconnection for both young children and older children alike. Kasi mostly nasa screen yung mga tao. So hindi nagkakaroon ng ganong karaming physical or face-to-face interaction. So mahalaga na magkaroon talaga ng balanse sa paggamit ng screen time at, paano natin mababalanse ang screen time na kailangan natin and also being with their family, interacting socially, and being physically active. Ngayon naman, tignan natin kung ano-ano ang iba't ibang dahilan ng paggamit ng mga tao ng internet or ano ba yung usually na ginagawa ng mga tao when they are online. So makikita natin dito yung top 10 reasons: finding information, staying in touch with family and friends, keeping up to date with news and events, nagre-research kung paano gawin ang mga bagay, lalo na diba sa YouTube, mga how-to tutorials, watching videos, TV shows, and movies, finding new ideas or inspirations, or looking for new hobbies to do online, researching products and brand, accessing and listening to music, filling up spare time and general browsing, and of course, education and study-related purposes. So makikita natin na may mga productive um, and beneficial ways din naman on how we can use technology. So it's about how to balance screen time and having a healthy relationship with our electronic devices. Sabi nga ng Office of Education Technology in the US, technology, when used appropriately, can be a tool for learning. It can be used to increase access to learning opportunities for all children. And mapapa-strengthen nito yung relationship natin with parents, with family, with early educators, and ibang children. So it's about having that healthy relationship. So ngayon, magbibigay tayo ng simple tips kung paano natin mababalanse ating screen time and developing healthy relationship with our electronic devices. So number one, for parents, set guidelines and structures. Well, they might be scheduled for classes, di ba? May schedule ng classes yung mga bata. Consider setting guidelines of screen time outside of class hours. So ano ba yung mga rules nyo? So try establishing rules on holidays, weekends, di ba? So allow nyo ba siya? Ilang oras? Sa weekend, kung i-allow nyo sila mag-devices, ano-anong mga oras? Is it on morning or sa gabi lang? Will you allow binge days, di ba? Kasi minsan mag-binge watch tayo as a family. So manonood tayo ng mga favorite natin ng mga K-dramas or mga television shows. Will you also allow tech-free days, parang digital detox? So this day, parang once a month, ganyan ba? Or a certain number of hours in a week, wala talagang gagamit ng devices. So you need to be very clear on those guidelines. You can also build screen time routines, but by letting children know what to do, when, and how often. And watch TV, for example. Okay, so manonood ng TV or makakapag-stream ng video, say 1 hour after dinner or like 1 hour before dinner. So choose a schedule that will best fit yung family nyo and your habits. So just make sure that you communicate it clearly with your children. Para ganon, mas ma-develop nila yung discipline and mas maintindihan nila, okay, ito pala yung rules sa bahay namin when it comes to using digital devices. Next is, syempre, para sumunod ng mga bata, we need to model healthy behavior. Children will emulate, they will mimic what their parents or what the adults are doing. So, when you set these guidelines, make sure that you set a good example as well. So, you can try to read books and also engage in physical activity. Be mindful of your electronic use as well. So, pag sinabi natin sa mga bata na, okay, this time, before dinner, 1 hour before dinner, na lang tayo gagamit ng digital devices. Then you should also emulate that behavior. Or pwedeng, walang magsa-cellphone habang nasa dinner. So yun. So make sure na kayo din hindi magsasagot ng emails or calls or mag-check ng social media. So para gagayahin din tayo ng mga kabataan. Next is to encourage online physical activity. You can integrate physical activities during screen time. Like, for example, magnunood kayo ng YouTube exercise videos. So pag morning, tapos susundan nyo yung mga instructions, di ba? Or you can do yung dancing sa Zumba, di ba? There are Zumba challenges. Take fitness challenges with your kids. So these are some of the activities that you can do. So online. So hindi naman pwede pag sinabi natin na online, nakaupo lang din talaga. So you can be creative in the way that you're gonna be using online or screen time to help build physical activity. Next is you also it's also good to get involved in your children's digital world. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Di ba yung mga kabataan natin techie? So let us not be intimidated with the text and the apps that they're using. Mahalaga is we spend time with them and we get involved in their digital world para mas alam natin kung ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga anak natin. So we can learn how to play the games na yung in-enjoy ng child natin, or you can explore the internet together. Okay? You can look for positive activities that you can do together with electronics. So you can ask them to explain to you how things work. Pag medyo complicated na, it's more about really spending time and giving them your attention. So pakita nyo that you're also interested in the things that they're doing. So make it an important part of your lives as well to get involved in their world, para you can also guide them accordingly. And of course, be present. Presence is the concept of being alert and focused on the current moment. So rather than, minsan, di ba, nandyan tayo, nakaupo, pero ang nag-usap-usap, pero we're looking ahead to the future or distracting ourselves from the moment with other thoughts or activities. So it's either nag-worry tayo about the future or parang na-overthink natin yung past na parang, ay, ito pala dapat yung ginawa ko or ganito dapat. So the idea is to be present with your children to meet their emotional needs. Kasi kapag nag-worry tayo about the past or the future, wala tayo sa present moment. So hindi tayo ganun ka-attuned sa needs ng mga bata. So ano ba yung kailangan nila? Kailangan ba nila ng help sa assignment? Nagugutom na ba sila? Naantok na ba sila? Ano yung emotional need na kailangan nila? Or kailangan ba nila ng help in some other way? You can be present by listening to your kids and having daily traditions with them. So for example, you wake up at a certain time of the day, you go online, YouTube, and do exercises for 15-20 minutes before they start their classes. You can also create teachable moments na, after doon, like on the morning, bago sila mag-start ng classes. So the idea being is you spend quality time with them. With all our busy schedules, maybe hindi siya ganun kadali, but it's about being intentional in how we are spending the day and how we are spending quality time with our children. Okay, so to end this, I'd like to share this very lovely quote. This is from author Emily Russell. Someday I'll look back and say, I blinked and they were grown. So I hope to also say, but I saw it all. I soaked it in. I was there for it, and it was great. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Miss Rana, for those interesting demographics. Let us now check on our very young but amazing girl champions and how they speak their minds about sport, their dreams, and how digital life impacts on their pursuit to be champions.
Hello everyone, I am Kendra Lee C. Enriquez from the Philippines Travel City, Pasay City. Hello, Ate Sai May Gismundo. Can you please tell something about yourself, family, and your love for your sport?
I played pencastilat since I was in grade 5. My school life was a learning experience and I earned a lot of friends. My favorite activities in school was planting together with my classmates with beautiful flowers. I love playing pencastilat because I make my family proud of me when I achieve something at a young age. As an athlete, it is not easy for me to handle both sport and academic, but I am proud to say that I am a consistent honor student. My family is very supportive of me joining pencastilat. We spend more quality time since COVID-19 started.
Please share also have you learned your sports and all its fun and challenges of training and competing.
I was 10 years old when I started playing pencastilat, and my first competition was in Iloilo City in Nagyang Festival. Most of my family is an athlete, from my grandpa, my father, uncle, auntie, brother, and cousins. They introduced to me my sports. I learn, I compete, and enjoy my sports. I learned to love my sports when I first won in a competition. I feel proud to myself. After that, I practice and practice even harder. The hardship and challenges that I have encountered as an athlete was in every training. I should and I must do all my best and give my all in every performance to achieve my goal and win. Every training is unforgettable and every competition is memorable because in each event, friends and family are supporting me.
Does your mom or dad ask rules for you on your cell phone?
At home, My mom made sure that we finish our school activity before anything else. That is our first rule at home. I'm so thankful to my family, especially to my father who supports us at everything. He is a serviceman. I just want to say to all my fellow athletes that don't be afraid to lose. Losing is just the first step. Winning comes next. Follow your dreams, achieve your goals, and never quit. Hormat.
Hi, I am Krista Miguela Gagoscos from the world's Spanish capital, Taguban City. Hello, Ate Nashika. We have watched you compete in the recent 7 Martial Arts Festival, and we are so excited to know you more. Can you please tell something about yourself, family, and your love for your sport?
I am very happy with my family. We usually going somewhere, that's how I spend time with them. My school life, as of now, is not that really fun because it's pandemic and there's no face-to-face classes. But I'm still participating in each activity. My favorite activity is groupings. Then we will choose who will be our group mates. Of course, we choose our friends so we can talk while doing our best to pass the activity while enjoying it. My special talent is I am good at singing and dancing. And my achievement is I am belong to top students in our school.
Please share also how you learned your sport and all its fun and challenges of training and competing.
I started playing and competing in this sport when I am 8 years old. My dad is the one who introduced this kind of sports to us, not only me but with my sister. And suddenly I learned to love these sports because my inspiration is my dad. And I know he compete and love these sports. As a young athlete, I faced so many challenges while I'm in training, but I did my best to beat those challenges. I just keep motivating myself because I know this is for me and I am the one who will benefit of it. Unforgettable happiness with my friend is we're going and eating somewhere.
Does your mom or dad has rules for you on your use of your cell phone?
They are strict but not that totally strict, and it's fine with me how they discipline us. Just keep moving forward and always believe in yourself. Do not lose hope. You're in the process of learning. Keep moving and learn. Do that with enjoyment and love.
Hi, I am Kyla Sofia Morales, 10 years old from Taguig City. Hello, Ate Naisel. We have watched you compete in the recent 7th Martial Arts Festival. And we are so excited to know you more. Can you please tell something about yourself, family, and your love for your sport?
Dahil sa karate, madami akong naging kaibigan. Lagi nilang sinasabi sa akin na ang liit ko daw. Pero nung nalaman nila na nagkakarate ako, hindi na nila ako binubuli. At mas lalo akong nakilala sa school nung nakikita nila ako sa tarpaulin na nakapaskil sa labas ng school at sa gate ng subdivision. Nabigyan kami ng special award sa school dahil nalaman ng mga teachers namin at principal na nakapag-uwi kami ng medalya mula sa laban namin sa karate. At dahil sa karate, ang medalya ko ay mahigit 100 na. Si Lola ang lagi kong kasama sa mga laban ko. Pero minsan hindi siya nakakasama dahil inaalagaan niya ang lolo kong may sakit. Sobrang miss na niya bumiyahe dahil lagi kaming masaya pag pupunta sa laban at pag-uwi galing laban. Hindi ko makakalimutan ng Batang Pinoy National 2018 na ginanap sa Baguio. Habang natutulog kami sa kama, katabi ko ang lola ko. Biglang nahulog sa kama ang lola ko. May tumulak na multo. Nagkatakutan tuloy kami. Yon ang family bonding namin ng lola ko. Ang samahan ako kapag kami ay may kompetisyon at pagpupunta sa iba't ibang lugar. Ngayong pandemic, sobrang nagbago ang lahat. Dahil halos lahat ng naging virtual na. Hay, nakakamiss magbiyahe.
Please share also how you learned your sport and all its fun and challenges of training and competing.
Nainganyo ako magkarate nung ako'y 7 years old pa lang. Naisipan kong magkarate upang maprotektahan ko ang sarili ko gamit ang self-defense. Nagsimula ako magkarate nung March. After few months, isinabak ako sa kompetisyon. Kinakabahan ako dahil grade 1 ako, pero pinagkakamalan nila akong kinder. Pero nakakuha pa rin ako ng gintong medalya. Nainganyo ako magkarate nung nakikita ko ang mga bata na nagkakarate sa covered court. Napakaswerte namin kasi may Sensei Adora kaming nagtuturo ng karate ng libre sa lugar namin dahil bihira lang iyon. Hindi lang simpleng turo ang tinuturo ni Sensei. Lahat ng knowledge at experience niya sa sinishare niya sa amin para maging magaling kaming atleta kagaya niya. Kaya naging inspirasyon namin siya. Stricto sila Sensei Adora sa training, pero after training, para na kaming magkakabarkada. Minsan, nag-aasaran, at ang pinakamasarap sa lahat ay food trip. Napakahirap minsan kasi may pagkakataon na nagsasabay ang exam, projects, at iba pang schoolworks at training dahil kailangan naming maghanda para sa Batang Pinoy. Pero laging sinasabi ni Sensei Adora sa amin na dapat lagi kang maniwala sa sarili mo, na kakayanin mo at huwag susuko. Kinaya ko kasi sinusunod ko sila. Marami akong hindi makakalimutan ng masasayang alaala at naranasan ko. Naaalala ko nung una kong Batang Pinoy na by weight, kinakabahan ako kasi ang iba kong kalaban ay 15 taong gulang na. At hanggang kilikili lang nila ako. Kahit ako ay maliit, nakasungkit pa rin ako ng bronze medal. Di ko rin makakalimutan nung ako'y in-interview ng PTV4. Pinalabas ako sa TV, napanood ako ng mga kaibigan ko at mga iba ko pang kamag-anak. Di ko rin makakalimutan na nangyari sa akin is nung first time kong sumakay ng eroplano papuntang Palawan sa Batang Pinoy National Championship noong 2019. Masaya ako kasi first time kong makasakay ng eroplano. Salamat po ulit sa gwapong Mayor Arthur Robes. At isa rin sa hindi ko makakalimutan na nangyari sa akin ng Batang Pinoy National Championship na ginanap sa Baguio. Hindi ko makakalimutan na isinelebrate ko ang birthday ko sa Baguio at may nagregalo pa ng cake sa akin. At ang pinakamagandang regalo na natanggap ko ay nagwagi ako ng gintong medalya.
Does your love for browsing through your cellphone interfere with your studies or training? How do you manage your time for your sport, training, studies, and the use of cellphone gadget? Does your mom or daddy has rules for you on your use of your cellphone?
Sila Sensei Adora at Senpai Mary Ann ay maigpit sila sa amin kagaya nila mama at papa. Lagi nila kaming pinagsasabihan na huwag masyadong gumamit ng cellphone at computer dahil pwede itong makasama sa amin. Kapag kami ay may training, bawal kaming gumamit ng gadgets para kami ay makapag-concentrate. At tuwing may laban naman, pagtapos lang ng laban kami nakakahawak at hanggang 9 PM lang kami online. Kailangan naming ma-adapt ang mga bili nila hanggang bahay. Kasi, laging may meeting ang mga parents, ine-explain nila ang mga paraan ng pagdidisiplina nila sa amin kung saan dapat magtulungan ang coaches at parents. Ang madalas nilang sabihin ay huwag magpuyat. Halimbawa, may training kinabukasan, dapat huwag kang magpuyat dahil sa araw ng training wala kang maiintindihan sa ituturo sa iyo. Kasama din sa pagdidisiplina ang pagkain ng gulay. At dapat huwag maging mapili sa pagkain.
Hello, Ate Julia. We have watched you compete in the recent 7 Martial Arts Festival, and we're so excited to know you more. Can you please tell something about yourself, family, and the love of your sport?
Ang buhay sa paaralan ay isa sa pinakamahalagang yugto ng aking buhay. Simula nung magkarate ako, ito ang naging daan upang ma-overcome ko ang aking stage fearness at maibalik ang aking confidence. Natuto akong mag-participate sa iba't ibang aktibidad sa aming paaralan at maging active. Dahil sa karate, unti-unti akong nakikilala sa aming paaralan. Dahil binigyan kami ng special awards ng aming principal. Dahil ang karate ang may pinakamaraming nauwing medalya sa San Jose del Monte, Bulacan noong Batang Pinoy Luzon qualifying leg na ginanap sa Vigan, Ilocos Sur at Batang Pinoy National Championship na ginanap sa Baguio. Iniimbitahan din kami tuwing may event sa aming paaralan para mag-perform. Noong wala pang pandemic, naging family bonding na namin ang pagpunta sa iba't ibang lugar upang lumahok sa kompetisyon. Kaya ngayong pandemic, di na namin ito naranasan. Mahigit 1 taon na rin ang nakalipas nung nag-pandemic. Miss na namin ang mamasyal. Nakwento pa sa akin ni Papa na miss na daw niya pumunta sa iba't ibang lugar at mamasyal.
Please share also how you learned the sport and all of its fun challenges of training and completing.
2017 nung nagsimula akong magkarate. 8 taong gulang pa lamang ako noon at tanda ko pa ang unang gold medal ko sa komite. Nasuntok at nasipa muna ako sa mukha bago ko makuha ang gold na yon. Dahil doon nagpursigi ako mag-training. Nakasungkit ako ng mga medalya noong Women's Cup 2018, 2019 at ngayong 2021. At nakasungkit din ako ng bronze at silver medal noong Batang Pinoy. Mahigit 60 medalya na rin ang meron ako ngayon. Nagkaroon ng pre-summer training sina Senpai at Sensei sa covered court ng aming lugar. Naeengganyo ako sa tuwing nakikita ko na maraming bata ang nagtitraining. Sinubukan ko ring lumahok dito at di ko inaasahang magiging masaya ang resulta. Halos 4 na taon na rin ang nakalipas pero patuloy pa rin ako sa pag-iensayo. Dahil marami akong natututunan kina Senpai at Sensei at di lang about sa karate, pati rin sa realidad ng ating buhay. Hindi ko aakalaing maraming matututunan kina Senpai at Sensei na makabuluhang bagay.
How did you get over this?
Bilang isang student athlete, napakahirap ng mga pagsubok na aking kinaharap at kakaharapin pa. Hindi natin maitatanggi na mahirap pagsabayin ang pag-aaral at pagtitraining. May mga pagkakataon na nagsasabay ang exam, schoolwork at pagtitraining. Parehas itong mahalaga sa akin. Pero gaya ng turo sa akin ni Senpai at Sensei, dapat matuto kami mag-time management. Dahil sa turo nila, nagawa kong pagbalansihin ang aking pag-aaral at pagtitraining. At minsan, walang time ang parents ko para samahan ako kapag may tournament. Kaya ipinagkakatiwala na lang nila ako kila Senpai at Sensei. Naranasan ko ngang pumunta ng bigan na sina Senpai at Sensei lang ang kasama. Kaya nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila dahil kahit ganun ang sitwasyon namin, naaalagaan pa rin nila kami. Ang isa sa pinakamalaking problema namin, hindi ganun kalaki ang pera namin. Naranasan namin noon na mag-training gabi-gabi sa covered court na ang gamit lang ay rechargeable lights. Dahil sa pagpupusigi namin, ginawa nito ng paraan ni Senpai at Sensei. May sarili na kaming pagtitrainingan ngayon. Napakaraming masasayang pangyayari ang naranasan ko nung nagkarate ako. Katulad ng sabi ko kaganina, naranasan namin mag-training gabi-gabi na ang gamit lang ay rechargeable lights. Preparasyon iyon para sa Batang Pinoy. Pero napaka-worth it ng resulta. Out of 11 players, 9 ang nag-uwi ng medalya.
How do you manage your time for your sport training, studies, and the use of your cell phone gadget? Does your mom and dad ask rules for you on your use of your cell phone?
Ang maganda dito, sina mama, papa, senpai at sensei ay magkakaibigan. Kaya ang pagdidisiplina sa bahay at dojo ay iisa. Sina mama at papa, ayaw nila akong nagpupuyat. Dahil malaki ang magiging epekto nito sa performance ko sa school at karate. Mahigpit din sila pagdating sa gadgets. Dapat marunong ka sumunod sa training man o karate. Dapat di ka maging pihika sa pagkain. Matuto kang kumain ng gulay at prutas. May pagkakataon din na nahuli ako ni mama na nagpupuyat kaka-cellphone. Ang sabi niya sa akin, pag di daw ako tumigil, isusumbong niya daw ako kay senpai.
I am Guyanese Go, from an island in the south where Islam was first introduced to the Philippines in 1138. This island is also known for its being the richest fishing grounds in the country. With extensive pearl beds, like the beautiful button shell, the enchanting mother of pearl, among the other pearls. Hello, Ate Daniela. We have watched you compete in the recent 7th Martial Arts Festival, and we are so excited to know you more. Can you please tell something about yourself, family, and your love for your sport?
I am a grade 4 student of Infant Jesus Academy, Calibo, Aklan. I am into ballet dancing before. I am proud to say that I am also an academic achiever. I'm on top of my class since preschool. I won in quiz bees, especially in math. I also won in speech fest and Timpalak Bigkasan in school competitions every school year. We are 2 children of our parents, Danny and Myrene Cochin. I'm the youngest, and my older brother, who is now 14 years old, is also a pencaksilat athlete. We spent our family bonding by traveling before. My family loves traveling. But now that there's pandemic, we can't go out of our house. We are now spending our free time inside our home, chatting, watching movies, and playing with our gadgets if allowed.
Please share also on how you learned your sport and its fun and challenges in training and competing.
I started playing pencaksilat when I was 7 years old. After a month of training, I joined my first competition and I won 2 golds, 1 in tanding and 1 in tunggal. That was in Guimaras Manggahan Festival on 2019. At naging sunod-sunod na po yon. And I won golds in almost competitions I joined. The only silver I have was the Indonesia Virtual International Tournament on 2020. Actually, my older brother was my influencer with this. He is also a pencaksilat athlete, and those times that I go with him in the gym, I was amazed and curious with the athletes performing silat, especially when I see kids at my age in the training. The hardships and challenges I have encountered as a young athlete was the time that I have exams or quiz bee, and I also have my competition. I experienced bringing my reviewer along with me in the competition during those times that don't have pandemic yet, answering my reviewer at the food court after my fight. My unforgettable moments during my trainings and competitions with my sports friends are during our free time. We spend it playing and chatting, sleeping together at the billeting, lying on the floors of the malls, and what I like the most, aside from competing and the excitement to win, a little lakwatsa before going home is the best. In this sport, we are not only building self-confidence and courage, but also build friendships with our fellow athletes.
Does your love for browsing through your phone interfere with your studies or training? How do you manage your time with your sports training, studies, and your use of cell phone gadget?
If you ask me if my love for browsing through my cell phone interfere with my studies and training, my answer is yes, simply because overusing of gadgets can cause distractions. I can manage my time for my sport, training, studies, and use of cell phone or any gadgets by using time limit. It is only a matter of mindset. At dito papasok ang focus and discipline. If I'm on my training or studies, I should focus on it. I can still have time for my gadgets during weekends or free time.
Does your mom or dad ask rules for your cell phone use?
Yes, my mom and dad has rules for us in using gadgets.
We only have 1 to 2 hours every weekdays using our cell phones and can only use it long time during Friday afternoon until Sunday morning. The secret I can share to the young girls who also want to get into sports: courage, dedication, perseverance, focus, discipline, being humble, and have faith to God are my secrets. Why? Because if you have courage, you believe that you can win and accept defeat at the same time. If you have dedication, perseverance, and focus, you can reach your ultimate goal. Being disciplined gives you the strength to withstand hardships and difficulties. If you are humble, you are respected by others. And most of all, if you have faith to God, you will be blessed and everything will be possible and you are guided in all of your competitions.
Thank you very much to our girl champions for guesting in our show.
Moving on, we have invited an expert in the field of sports to share some information on how to better understand girl athletes. Let's welcome Assistant Professor Robin Darwin Tuliao from the College of Human Kinetics, Cagayan State University. Professor Darwin used to serve as the program coordinator for the Graduate School in Physical Education at the Taipei American School in Taiwan. He has finished a master's degree of sports coaching science in the Chinese Culture, University of Taiwan. He is a certified group suspension, training specialist, a certified sports tape, kinesiology, taping practitioner, a licensed professional teacher, and an accredited International Amateur Athletics Federation. Level 1, National Technical Official and Coach for Athletes. Let's welcome a multi-medalist, Cagayanon in athletics, both local and international.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for having me again for this very exciting episode of Rise Up and Shape Up. And I'll be sharing to you about the physical development of a girl athlete. So let's define first, in the simplest form, what coaching is all about. So coaching is a process of transferring information from one individual to another or group with the explicit aim of improving performance. The science of coaching, for the most part, deals with numbers, stats, and tangible things that we can measure. So, we had these experiences of being subjected to more physically dominant individual who will be excelling in sports using talent identification or what we call fitness testing as an instrument to identify athletes. However, coaches' knowledge and skills may differ from one another, and we may have a different, unique on how we impose our personality, creativity, and even our experience on the program of how we deal our athletes. It is generally accepted among sports scientists that female athletes are faced with unique situations based upon their physiology, biomechanical, and psychological characteristics that are assumed to ensure the healthy and successful development of the female athlete as separate and different from men's. So it is significant to view female athlete differently in coaching in many factors. So in this topic, we need to understand that physical development of a girl athlete don't just rely on physical characteristic, but also we need to give emphasis also and importance on a psychological characteristic for us to produce better and world caliber athlete such as Heidelin Diaz. So under physical characteristic is age and maturity. For female athletes, they may have the same chronological age, however, they may differ with their rate of maturation. So this rate of maturation may be seen on their sexual maturations indicated as their biological age. For chronological age, players were commonly assessed in relation to age group, not with their respective growth and maturation. That is why in most of the competition, national and even international, there is what we call yung example of under 12, under 13, under 14, under 18 competitions. So these are based on the chronological age or competition. However, for biological, there are some books or researchers mention that athletes who are more physically mature as indicated by a higher biological age appear to be stronger, faster, and better at team sports than their peers who exhibit a lower biological age even when they have the same chronological age. So, there is just a exaggeration of the picture in this slide. So, we have to think that these two athletes have the same chronological age, but we see the difference in terms of their biological age. So, during prepubescent girls and boys are very similar in height, weight, girth bone, width, and even their skin fold thickness. So, during this stage, it is unnecessary to separate children by their sexes for sports participation. However, coaches working with this age group should focus individual development and provide the two sexes equal opportunities in practice and competition. After puberty, body size and related factors tend to favor among men. For this reason, makes sense to provide separate competitive opportunities for young men and women. So, according to these authors on the book I read, there are some differences of male and female athletes. And we can see here in terms of aerobic fitness, male athlete has a higher VO2 max in average as compared to female athletes. However, for anaerobic threshold, there is no difference. Also, it was mentioned here that men have more hemoglobin, which could influence oxygen delivery to muscles. Another factor for physical characteristic that we need to consider is the sexual maturation and skeletal maturation of a physical development for a girl athlete. For sexual maturation, one of the best indicator of biological age is sexual maturation because it indicates an increase in circulating levels of testosterone. So this can be determined through the evaluation of athletes' sexual characteristics. For example, their body hair, breast development, the starting of their periods. It also developed wider hips, increase in height, and genital development. So, monitoring of growth and maturation is highly important, especially phases that precede this puberty. So, when I attended one of the sports science seminar under Philippine Sports Commission, they talk about the science of training females, and I would like to share it. The presenters, it was mentioned the differences of men and women. It is seen here, shown here in the table, that women have more fat and less fat-free mass compared to men, because men have more lean muscle mass. Another one, in terms of joint, female are more flexible as compared to men. And other differences among men and women, in terms of muscle fibers, shown here that women have less fast twitch muscle fiber. So, in terms of sports like explosive, with a skill of power, speed, okay, it is advantage for athletes or an individual who have a higher fast twitch muscle fiber in their body. So, another consideration is their skeletal maturation. So, it is important to coaches to consider the impact of skeletal maturation of your athlete upon injuries and the potential risk factors that can associated in terms of their skeletal maturations. Because we understand that they may have a different rate of growth of maturation even in their skeletal maturation. So, we have to consider on how the amount of loads, intensity, in strength and conditioning, how we impose our training programs, for example. And aside from physical characteristic, we have to give importance also the psychological capability of a female athlete as they develop. We understand that young athletes are not physiologically or psychologically able to tolerate programs created for advanced athletes. So, it is unnecessary for coaches to mimic or copy a training programs coming from matured or elite athletes, even in our national training athletes, that can be incorporated with our high school or physically and psychologically unprepared athletes. Okay? So be careful, coaches. So we can look at this table, an age-based training guidelines on how intensity or number of hours in relation to their growth stages. Then also, coaches, emotional factors need to give emphasis for female athletes or girl athletes. Under emotional factors, this is something to do with stress, anxiety, depression, and eating disorders, which commonly seen among young athletes. And also for girl athletes, they may become also, there are some female athletes who are obsessed with becoming slim and refusing to eat. And they may develop this disorder like the anorexia nervosa as an example. Because of this, they may suffer some disorder, depression. Okay? So we have to consider all these factors as they develop or mature. For coaches and practitioners, we often use somatic. We look for height, body mass, and age measures. Okay? That's our preferred method in identifying our athletes. So, for physical development of girl athletes, it is substantial to take consideration of their capability and changes in physical and psychological characteristics to reach the optimum and better chances to bring out a world caliber female athlete in the future. So I hope this topic that I presented will give a useful understanding for physical development of a girl athlete. Thank you everyone and good day.
Thank you very much, Professor Tuliao. Time is up for this week's Rise Up Shape Up episode. Thank you everyone for your support. Rise Up Shape Up is brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, Women in Sports. We would like to thank our partner, Pacor, and our event sponsor, Pocari Sweat. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube account and follow us in our social media channels. Again, this is your host, Nicole. Have a marvelous day, everyone!
Rise up